This is Hannibal from the HannibalTV.com with my weekly review of the news I find interesting in Dave Meltzer's Wrestling Observer newsletter. But before I get into that, I just want to say that I attended a press conference yesterday for Jacques Rougeau's Wrestling Academy TV show. And of course, Canadian champion Jeremy Prophet, Quebec wrestling veteran Sexy Eddie, and the lovely Blaze were also there. And this was to announce his Wrestling Academy TV show coming in 2022 and also to raise some money for the homeless by slamming various people, including Blaze, that got slammed by none other than me. So I hope to God the Blood Hutter doesn't see that and come after me. But yeah, the Wrestling Academy TV show is going to help raise money for the homeless in Montreal as well. So it's nice to see that not only if you apply for that Wrestling Academy TV show, do you get a chance to win one of four $5,000 prizes and a chance to train at the Monster Factory owned by QT Marshall and Cody Rhodes of AEW, but you're also helping the homeless, because for people to vote on who's going to win this Wrestling Academy thing, they're going to have to pay $1, and a portion of that is going to go to the homeless in Montreal. So that's pretty cool, and the wrestlers are going to have their trans paid as well. So I highly suggest if you haven't applied and you're a wrestler, apply for Jacques Rougeau's Lutte Academy TV show. So I'm going to. What about his Blaze is blazing? That's funny. Jason, I'm doing all right. I'm going to get into the news, though. I'm sorry for the delay. Let's get into it. Although the Rujo thing was news. WWE, let's start it off. Friday, they did a 0.5 rating for SmackDown. WWE Hall of Famer Rob Van Dam, who I did a shoot interview with last year, married Katie Forbes, who those two are very much in love. Apparently, Wyndham Rotundo, Bray Wyatt, is doing a horror movie. That's why he has not been in AEW yet, possibly. Regarding people being fired from WWE over vaccinations, well, nobody was told if they didn't get vaccinated that it would threaten their jobs. They were very much encouraged to get vaccinated, as they would be less valuable to the company as it puts restrictions on international travel. Dwayne Johnson has said, pretty much confirmed, he's not going to be at WrestleMania next year in Dallas. By the way, December 11th, Irving, Texas, the Dallas area, World Class Pro Wrestling returns featuring Mick Foley. The November 5th SmackDown tapings in Evansville only had 3,800 paid. Raw last Monday in Louisville had 4,000 paid. Dynamite did a 0.35 rating this week. Raw did a 0.4 rating, but their third hour featuring that was built around Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins drew the lowest third hour rating in history, 0.34. So the third hour featuring Owens and Rollins actually did less than the rating Dynamite did. NXT did a 0.15, Rampage did a 0.22, SmackDown did a 0.57, Impact did its usual 0.02. Jay Lethal, now that Ring of Honor is shut down, has made his AEW debut. He appeared last night at Full Gear and has challenged Sammy Guevara for the TNT Championship on Dynamite this week. Jay Lethal has wrestled for Great North Wrestling before. He also used to date AJ Lee, who is CM Punk's wife. That would be awkward, to say the least, um, for me if I was CM Punk and another wrestler used to date my wife. It's in the same company as me. But I'm a really weird person. As far as the November 5th Rampage taping in St. Louis, it drew 5,100 paid. It was their first time in that market. The November 10th tapings in Indianapolis drew 5,075 total with over 4,800 paid. Right now, WWE is running St. Louis this coming Monday and only has 4,473 tickets out. That's including comps and paid. So it'll be interesting if Raw outdraws Dynamite or not. Apparently, ticket interest for Full Gear and Survivor Series is down compared to previous pay-per-views from both companies. It's unknown if Full Gear sold out or not yet, but as of the writing of the Observer, there was between 2,000 and 3,000 tickets left. Judy Bagwell, the mother of Marcus Buff Bagwell, who I have an interview with on this channel, passed away November 5th at 78, had been battling dementia. Another wrestler who had been battling, and I call Judy Bagwell a wrestler because she actually did team with Buff in WCW. But yeah, Angelo Mosca, Canadian Football League star and wrestling star, particularly in Canada, passed away from Alzheimer's November 6th. And he had been going downhill for a while. There is a short interview with him on this channel, which is poor quality. It's one of my first interviews. But I tried in recent years to get another interview with him, but I was told that his dementia was too far. Raymond Rujo, speaking of the Rujo brothers, who is 66 now, was elected mayor of Rada in Quebec on November 7th. Congratulations to Ray. That's about 37 miles north of Montreal, population of about 12,000. And Jacques told me today in a clip that after years of not being on the best terms, him and Raymond are actually all going to be at the same family Christmas gathering. So I'm happy to hear that, as I very much like all the Rujos, all the Rujo kids. Yeah, I consider them, since Jacques was one of my trainers, I actually consider the entire Rujos very close friends, and I would definitely help them out with whatever I can if they ever needed my help. Jim Duggan is home after needing 2 surgeries and is feeling better. Those surgeries were related to cancer, but he's going to take the rest of the year off from the road, return next year. Apparently, Onita was supposed to get 25 grand from his appearances around this exploding ring match that only drew about 300 paid in New Jersey. The promoters of that show's name was Matt Tremont, and he's still in the hospital due to burns from that match. So say what you want about wrestling commissions, and Canada isn't commissioned, but Missouri has a commission, Oklahoma has a commission, Oregon has a commission. I'm not sure all of them. I think Washington where Seattle is, has a commission, I believe. But say what you want about commissions, they would never have allowed a stupid match like this to happen, a dangerous match where it only drew 300 people and the promoter is still in the damn hospital from burns. I don't know. I'm not a fan of those type of matches. Former TNA player who was also an NFL star, Pac-Man Jones, was sentenced recently related to a bar fight where he knocked out a bouncer and hurt other employees. He's sentenced to 180 days in jail, with 150 of those days suspended as long as he keeps himself out of trouble. So he'll only actually have to spend 30 days in jail, and then 9 months probation where he'll have to be back in the house after 9 p.m. and he can't drink alcohol for that period. He was also fined $100. He had been in jail previously for a 2019 brawl at a casino. The UFC in Madison Square Garden had the fourth biggest gate of all time, I think, in Madison Square Garden. It was an instant sellout. They announced it as 20,715 fans and 9,800,000 gate. Isn't it funny that UFC will announce Madison Square Garden as a sellout of over 20,000, but WWE, when they do like Raw and SmackDowns there, they'll call it a sellout lately at like 10 or 12,000. Anyways, the planned George Masvidal versus Leon Edwards fight that was supposed to happen December 11th is off due to Masvidal being injured with an undisclosed injury. It's 420. Get high, mixed partial farts said. I did take some drops earlier. I've had a long day, lots of traveling, and I went out the night before with some friends. Mr. Circuit says WWE is meh. Can we admit wrestling's dead and gone? Well, there's more money to be made in wrestling than ever, and WWE has higher profits than ever. So although the current products might not have the most fan interest, people are still watching wrestling because people watch the network for old stuff and interviews, and the WWE YouTube channel is one of the most popular YouTube channels on YouTube. So there's still wrestling fans out there. There's just less wrestling fans that are still interested in the current product. Hence me, I'm still a wrestling fan. And New King 70, you're calling wrestling dead, but you are watching a wrestling news report. So there's still fans out there. But yes, I do understand. Craig, I don't know about Hangman Page and the AEW title. Kenny Omega wasn't really a big needle mover for AEW, and now they're putting it on someone else who, outside of the smart marks, isn't that appealing. So I don't know if that's the wisest decision. I would have rather seen it on a guy like CM Punk, to be honest, or even Cody Rhodes, like a more name person, if they want to get AEW more name recognition, because I just don't see Hangman Page being a big needle mover. Bill, my old friend from Unlimited Fitness back in the 1990s, saw my video for the injections I had in my shoulder, the stem cell injections that are hopefully going to regrow the muscles in my shoulder. So I'll keep you guys posted. It takes about 2 weeks to start noticing it, and then they continue to grow for 6 months. So I got arthritis in one of my shoulders from all the years of wrestling and lifting, and apparently this is going to create new muscle tissue in there and help me greatly with that shoulder. And the other one has some torn muscles near the rotator pec and also lower rotator cuff and also lower in the pec. So hopefully that works out. So I'm just doing legs and cardio, I guess, for the next 2 weeks. The doctor told me to not do anything for upper body. Thanks for the $5 tip, New King 70. El Spicy is watching wrestling right now. He's watching wrestling and watching my podcast at the same time. MCW Melbourne represent. If that's Australia, that's pretty cool. You guys have beautiful women there. Not sure if they're at Blaze's level, but they're pretty cute. El Spicy says, great interviews recently with Jazz and Victoria. Craig says it's just a matter of time before Punk's wearing the title. Well, it was reported recently that the TNT and TBS executives want the company built around CM Punk. Probably because he's one of the biggest names they got other than Jericho, but he's younger than Jericho. I think by about 7 or 8 years. Who owns that crap dump Impact? Anthem Entertainment. There are wrestling fans, just not fans of the current product. Yes, you're right on that, Craig. And again, here's a guy with a Ric Flair picture. Okay, he has a Ric Flair picture, and he's watching my wrestling news report. And he's claiming wrestling's for men that haven't realized they are gay. Okay, so I guess you're gay. If you're watching this and you got a picture of Ric Flair. There is a lot of homosexual wrestling fans, it seems, particularly for the AEW product for whatever reason. Maybe because they seem to cater to that audience a bit. And that's their choice. I'm not saying that's good or bad. But in case anyone hasn't watched this very often, I kind of really like girls, like more than most. I'm really a big connoisseur of female beauty. So to hint that I might be gay, that's ridiculous. How did things go with Jacques Rougeau? They went great. I posted one video from that, and there's 2 more videos coming. Great guy. And I'm looking forward to his Wrestling Academy TV show next year that I may have some involvement with. So I hope everyone enjoys the rest of your weekend. As Craig says, why are you here if you really feel that way? I really don't care about people's sexuality. I just don't like products, of course. As a heterosexual person, I don't want to watch, like, I'm less interested in the Nyla Roses, and I forget that other one from AEW that's like kind of more flaming, because it just doesn't interest me, but I understand that might appeal to that audience. But really the only wrestling I like these days is the hard-hitting style and girls wrestling, because as I said, I at least, even if it's not a match that I'm necessarily interested in, it's, for the most part, women wrestlers are very athletic and beautiful. So I would rather watch a girls match than a guys match these days for that reason. Unless, of course, it's the Blood Hunter, because he is a very violent and intense and vicious wrestler. And at the same time, he also has Blaze managing him, who is gorgeous, and Kevin Sullivan, a legend. So his matches kind of hit. Numerous reasons why I like them. And hopefully his match against Scorpio from PCW Ultra will be up soon. And what about, I'm talking about Sunny Kiss. You're right. Yeah, that's too flaming for me. Or this, when Kenny Omega does his kisses with other guys, with the Young Bucks, whatever. They're making a lot of money. They're making more money than me. So do whatever makes you money. I don't hold that against them. I'm just saying I'm not interested in that for the guy that was alleging that I was, or that all of us are. So have a good night. I'm going to bed soon.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month